Hey everybody, Texas Stroker here. Once at Performance Shop, LoneStarMopars.com. It is another hot Saturday. There's storms to the west. I'm hoping they hold together. We actually get rain. That's the little key to keeping the grass somewhat green and yellow enough to not just completely go away and turn us into a desert. So, on that note, it is hot. I do not have a fan going, but we do have some pretty cool stuff here. Yeah, a lot of this, I'm not going to lie, repeat purchases. Now, this is tool haul number 42. Purchased this on the 4th of July, Independence Day. The reason for that, there's actually a couple of reasons. There's three. One of the biggest reasons was if you bought on July 4th, you get a free bottle opener from Knipex. And that is not a bottle opener from Knipex. That's our bit of thanks because you get that with every order. This one we did not get the sticker tool pack because we didn't exceed the $100. And we sadly missed out on the bottle opener. I guess they must have sold out before. I did turn my order in fairly late in the day. That's usually how I roll. It's either after 10 p.m. or first thing in the morning, if you consider that to be right after midnight. That's just kind of the late hours I wind up dealing with. So, missed out on that. The second reason was because I had to do something at my sister's house. And let's just, let's throw down right there. Hopefully I remember reason 3. I've set it off to the side. So, number one objective was, of course, to get the cool free Knipex bottle opener, which we missed out on, sadly. Not the end of the world, but, you know, it's one of those things. It's kind of cool to have in a toolbox. Everything's falling down over there. So, this is our first item. I don't believe we've brought these in from Wiha. We're going to see how we like them, going to make good use of them, but there's a reason I bought these. And that is because of a chain basketball net at my sister's house. So years back, you can't keep a basketball goal upright here. The wind has completely severed one with cement in it. Just broke it off at the base. We, had it put back in, had the people come and, put cement farther up. The wind just hits the backboard so much it constantly shifts and rotates. Then you have to come and swing it to get it square. It's ridiculous. The portable things here are just completely worthless. But this is an in-ground unit. I'm talking about the pole just folding over. It's insane. But something on that note, you cannot run. I mean, you can run like a traditional net, but it gets torn up really fast. When we do get rain, that doesn't help, but it's just the wind tears them apart. So needless to say, we use chain nets, right? And the one that had been up there, I think it's the second one I put up. And it's aged quite a bit. It was starting to break down. Had the loops in the top, where the chain links had broken and stuff. The balls would kind of get hung up or come through the side, all that sort of stuff. So it kind of sucked, you'd be in the middle of a, one-on-one or a two-on-two. We play a lot. And, you drill a 3 and you got momentum going and everything, and then which 3s or 2s because we play 1s and 2s. That's another story. But it kills the flow of the game. So, off with the old, in with the new. That net, it's way better quality, I think, than the first one I had up there. And this one, for whatever reason, I was using her tools, which to my credit, it's something I gave her. Also to my credit, it's like a cheap Apollo tool set. And needless to say, it did have needle noses, very similar to this, but, they're pink, because, hey, I thought that'd be cool for my sister. Bit stiff. I don't believe I've had Wihas that stiff. And Grat said, after the first run, they've broken in quite a bit. Needless to say, though, I'm going to town. I'm trying to, what's left, bend it back, right, so I can get it off of the rim. And then with the second one, which was like a stronger link, I was having to bear down. Keep in mind, I'm up on a ladder, and I'm having to bear down on that stuff. And then, of course, you're kind of trying to roll it, because that sort of gets it done a little easier for you. And the problem I had is the handle on those pliers. It's sort of like black comfort grip with the pink accents, right? And it was just rolling. Every time I'm rolling the chain link with the pliers, the teeth are getting torn up, and I'm also slipping, not because of my hand, but because the handle was rotating. And about the 4th link, I was I'm buying new pliers to bring over here. And, whether I leave these there, just make sure I kind of tend to have them with me when we go over there, remains to be seen. But these are from Wiha. These are their long nose pliers with the soft grip. I actually do quite like their grip. I kind of like the textured version of everyone pretty well, but theirs are actually not that bad. Again, these are not made in Germany. These are made in Vietnam. Don't let that dissuade you. If you've got a pair of pliers you need, price out the Vihas. They're going to be in line or a little lower than NWS. Get them. If you know, like, hey, Knipex is my go-to, buy those, but throw these on. I mean, you can get them sub 20 bucks most of the time. Get a different size, slightly smaller, save yourself some money in case you hate them. I don't think you're going to be disappointed. I think a lot of people just, oh, Vietnam, it's not Germany, no good. Keep in mind, where do a lot of your ratcheting wrenches come from that you like? Taiwan, right? Give these a go. Again, don't go heavy board, don't buy full sets or anything until you've tried them out, but just don't bypass these because of that. Go ahead, bring them in, whether it's tool of the day, a sale, whatever it might be. I don't think you'll be that disappointed. In fact, you might come to like them, and they've then become a really good option for you. Of course, they have VDE stuff as well. These are part number 3911. They're 6.3 inches long. Guess there's a dog dying over there or something cool. And $20.81 is standard. Catch them on tool of the day, you could probably get these for 12 to 15 bucks. All right, so let's highlight some of the stuff here. I do always like their packaging as well. 6.3, that translates to 160 millimeters. They call them long nose. This is SoftGrip, extra long cutting edge for flat and round cable. There you see C70 special tool steel. They've got the cushion grip. Any other highlights right here? Patented dynamic joint. I know you can't see that too well, so I'm not going to try to get the glare. I'm just going to read it for you. 40% easier cut, significantly longer tool life. Induction hardened jaws and cutters up to 64 on the hardness scale. Again, C70's tool steel. Gripping and holding, as well as cutting soft and hard wires and cables. And it's designed with SoftGrip for maximum power and comfort. And again, right there, if you break these, if I was using them and the handle just broke off, or I twisted it off, or it came down, or the teeth got dulled, or I was cutting the old chain because I said, screw it, you know, we're not going to use it, I'm just going to cut it, and we were to dull that thing out, send it back to Wiha, shoot an email, they send you a new tool. So I've not had to do that yet, but I do know some people that have warranted things before, and it seems to work quite well. So again, don't bypass these. You know, I get it, Knipex might be your go-to. Maybe it's, you know, Stahlwille, VBW, whatever you go with, an NWS. Give them a shot. Not necessarily this pair, it can be anything, but just get at least one pair before you completely write off their entire line. So that's my story. I'm sticking to it. Now, moving on with this fronts. I've talked recently about, you know, kind of like trying to build up a decent box, particularly for when we get the truck back up and going. And this tied in nicely, I thought, and it got me the free freight. We did at least get free freight. Missed out on a bottle opener. But I picked these up. Again, this would be a great, if you're like, you know, I've got plenty of these, I'm going to go Knipex because I love those, I need them, whatever. This is a great thing for you to bring in. This is their BiCut supercut. This is their like high leverage pivot joint. This is what would cost you 4 to 5 times as much to go Knipex, right? It is worth bringing in. This is my third pair. We have the two kind of to showcase the handle styles, which I have not done in a direct video. But they are pretty good for side cutters. They're kind of like an all-in-one. Again, perfect for like an in-the-truck box type of a deal. That way if I'm going and it's like we have a short or a sensor goes out and I got to cut like 16 or 18 gauge, no problem. If I have to go and cut a battery cable for a friend in a parking lot, we can do that. Similarly, if I've got to cut chain, and not just a basketball net, but like real chain, these are the tools you always see in their promo videos. Price point on these suckers, you're sitting here and you're like, okay, well these were 20. These are like super fancy. They're, geez, probably what, like 45, you know? No, try 27.27. Now, if you splurge for their comfort grip here, you're going to pay a little bit more. I will say this, their textured grip is really good from Wiha too. So let's kind of highlight these. Part number 32, 636. Keep in mind, timestamps, links down below. Do I make anything? Is it an affiliate link? No, not at this point in time. I've not gone through with any of that, so it's literally just there for your convenience, nothing more. I will not see a dime from it, at least as of recording this. So no evil incentives, no crazy motives. I'm just showing you what I bought and linking it for your convenience. So right here, BiCut Supercut Classic Grip. So soft grip, industrial soft, whatever, classic grip, right? Right here you can see cutting capacity up to 3mm hardened piano wire. If you flip her around for the metric crowd, 8 inches translates to 200mm. If we flip it back to this side, going to be very similar to what we just looked at. Double the power with the push of the button. The BiCut does a job of 2 pairs of pliers, up to 50% less hand strength required for cutting. Easily switch between 2 strengths, and then you can cut various materials, soft to extremely hard: nails, screws, bolts, cables, springs, wires, chains. The soft vinyl grips are oil and solvent resistant, likewise with their counterparts there, C70 tool steel, and they highlight the classic grip once more, Wiha no hassle guarantee. I really do like these blister packs. I prefer the bags. I'll use those for bolts and all sorts of stuff, but this blister pack is far superior to the other kind, provided you can actually have fingernails to open it, which, not my cup of tea, right? If you can just get your finger under one side, you're home free, and that is not always the easiest thing. Keep in mind, about 11 months out from the whole thumb in the bandsaw thing. So soon, very soon, I hope I can use my right thumb to do things like this and not have any fears of screwing something up. So anyway, here we are. I've showcased these before. Again, you come in, again, they're a little stiff out of the box, but they do, I mean, that pair on the first stroke, they kind of came back and rebounded nicely. I'm not going to go into a ton of detail here because we have showcased them, but with the button up like that, you're going to just be standard 100%, right? But you can double it. You can do this in multiple ways. You know, let's see, there's the button down, and now you'll note that they kind of pivot off to the side, and that is where you get that extra leverage with roughly the same amount of effort you would apply. So this, when you see their demos with like the chain being cut, that's what they're doing. Again, for the price point, that is a stupid good deal. Sometimes you can get the NWS Fantasticos for around that price point, but if you want to go with Knipex for their super cutters, 92, 80, you know, maybe catch them on sale for like, you know, 79 or something, but these aren't exactly bad, and I'm pretty sure if you bought 4 pairs, they would outlast the Knipex collectively. You know, it's one of those things. Knipex, I'm a big fan of theirs, but the price point they have for that pair of pliers seems a little bit out of line in my opinion. But just an observation there. So moving on, what do we want to do now? Let's go. Trying to find what I want to show you right here. This, I guess, will be headed back unless they tell me to keep it, which would be awesome. But if you've noticed recently, I've been kind of sneaking in a few stubby screwdrivers from time to time, right? And that's what I plan to do here, again, in part, just to stick on the extra little bit of cash and get us over the $50 mark. This is from Stahlwille. It's part number 4734. It is their number 2 stubby Phillips, which that long number will get you the same thing there. This will set you back $13.88, one of the more expensive stubbies. Simple problem being, that's not Phillips, right? That's slotted. So the reason I'm showing you this, they are going to go ahead and send me what I ordered. And when they checked every single one of these, they must have had something from Stahlwille where they sent them out. And the catch is, if you're like, well, that's the part number you gave us, what's the problem, you know? Fly on my elbow, my apologies. The issue there, 4724 for slotted, 4734. This fly was going to die. You're going to get the brake cleaner. 4734 will be your number 2 Phillips. Actually, all Phillips, it seems like. And 24 is all slotted sizes, and then it just expands from that point. But that's where it stands. It's very hard when it's in the bag. In fact, if you're looking at it on this side, you can't really even tell. So I wanted to showcase this. Why? Just so you can see what a slotted stubby from Stahlwille looks like, because sadly it will be going back again. I've got slotted stubbies I'm pretty content with. I'm wanting to test the Phillips, and money don't grow on trees, so she shall be returning to her origins there. But moving on, this is another repeat item. It's from Heyco. It wasn't long after I opened it up. In fact, right after I opened this the first time, it was put into use immediately, and I actually turned out to really like it. And I've currently got so much going on between 3 vehicles, it made sense to actually have a 6th one of these. Not of this direct product, a 2nd one of these. This is actually a great fly swatter as it is rolled up. From Heyco, it is part number 0900000. That's right. So put HYO in front of 900,000. That's your part number. Price point $29.48. Anyone remember what it is? Put your guesses in now. Stupid fly. Right there. Now do you know? Hopefully you do. Again, there's that absurd part number. It's even longer here. This is a fender cover from Heyco. Again, this thing is awesome. I love it. And in fact, instead of wasting your time in opening this, I have one which was soaked not long after putting it in use by primarily antifreeze. But it did help protect my core support on the truck. I'll go throw that over the core support, the other one, and you can take a look at it there. But I have showcased that before, so I don't want to spend a ton of time. The final item I brought in, keep in mind my main reason for buying all this. 1, trying to get the bottle opener. 2, getting something better for the chain basketball nets at my sister's house. And 3, I wanted these, and it's something, it's going to tie in with something I have never done before, and it's probably a little overkill, but again, I want to do it right. I don't want any leaks, don't want any issues, and I'm going to hope that this accomplishes that for me. So this is also from Stahlwille, price point $11.52, and no, it is not a screwdriver. I know, be impressed. But, part number from Stahlwille will be 11095/13. And you probably don't know what that is because I don't see people bringing these in. I'm going to throw its bag down right there. Can you read it? Maybe you're going to pause the video and zoom in. No need, because I'm getting it out of the bag right now. And this is actually my first time checking this out, so my apologies for the delay. In my hand, we have the item that we just brought in, and it is from Stahlwille. Let's bring her down here. There you can see the part number I just read off to you. Lots of glare going on, my apologies. If you note, you'll see what looks like some decimals and the fly from time to time, and that fly is really making it hard to do this. But 0.05, right? You see that maybe? All the way up to 1.00. That is metric, that is millimeters. They also do say, let me pull this up, fly, get out of here. It's one of those young, aggressive flies that doesn't know better to leave me alone. And I assure you, if we weren't filming, it would be dead right now. But your time will come. So, 0.002 to 0.040 would be the inch side of things. Let's flip it out and see what we got. Oh, that's awesome. I did not know when I bought these, you know, it looked like they had metric and SAE, and I assumed they would be separate, and they actually were kind enough to print both out. So, I've fanned them out here for you. These are actually really nice feeler gauges. That's what this is if you're unaware. The one up top, of course, is pretty thick. That's our big daddy. That's the 0.040 or 1 millimeter. And this is the one, honestly, that I actually need. So, these others become irrelevant at this point in time. So, you're probably thinking, like, what are you going to do with this 1 millimeter thick feeler gauge? Well, I, as I mentioned, have never dealt with this material before, and apparently it's critical, I guess. I checked across multiple manufacturer instructions, and they both listed out the 1 millimeter spec. This, my friends, is not AN braided line. This is PTFE. That's right. What is PTFE? Well, it's an acronym for a really long word that basically means that's in the middle. Okay. So it's got all the downsides of your typical stainless braided line in terms of cutting it, but there's the plastic tube. Essentially what that's going to do, if, let's say that you got your race car, you can plumb it with whatever, if, you know, off-gassing happens, if, you know, fuel seeps in, whatever, you know, it makes your shop smell like fuel, so be it. You know, your wife, girlfriend, kids, friends, whatever, they can come to your shop and complain. But if this is like your daily driver type of a thing, or a hot rod, you know, or you're just upgrading the fuel system in your vehicle, you may not want that, like, in your garage. Like, that's when your wife could really get mad at you. Like, hey, this isn't supposed to be your modified vehicle. It's supposed to be your dependable vehicle for the family. What are you doing, Carl? And with PTFE, you can eliminate that because it doesn't emit the fuel vapors, right? You go about town, it's just like you have a stock, mundane, boring piece of trash vehicle, right? So this will be used on the truck. Again, that's kind of more daily than anything, right? And so I thought about it, and I was like, you know, I never really thought of that, and I'm going to give this a go. So PTFE, it's been kind of the new kid on the block. I've been wanting to try it, and this is my chance. Essentially, though, you need that 1 millimeter to come in right here. That is a bag. I believe the technical description is an olive. Apparently, I've seen again, I haven't researched a ton of PTFE. AN stuff I'm pretty down with. But the PTFE, where I would typically call that a ferrule, it's apparently an olive. And you need that 1 millimeter gap. So I've got my fitting here. This is a -690. Black and blue, obviously. Killer scheme, right? And God, that fly. I'm telling you. If I take this off, you see said olive right there. Now that 1 millimeter gap is critical. I'll probably make a standalone video on it. But that's literally why I purchased that. And I've had really good luck anytime I've needed something from, you know, for specialty stuff that I needed to be good, that I couldn't like default to Knipex for. Which you gotta remember, they mainly just do pliers. I've gone with Stahlwille an awful lot of the time, and I've yet to really be disappointed. So this fly, I tell you, it's gonna happen. I'm gonna end this video and you're gonna be dead. So demonetize that one, YouTube. I don't care. That's what it is. That's the sole reason that I purchased that. So we had 3 target objectives. Number 1 was a free bottle opener, which we admittedly whiffed on. Number 2 was getting a good pair of needle nose pliers to make use for chain net installs at my sister's house. That's been accomplished. I might give them to her just so they're always there, because truth be told, like if I'm in a different vehicle, I may not have them, and I don't know what it is, but that chain, at least our previous 2, it has a tendency, even though you've like folded it over time, it starts to kind of like crimp, or some of the chain links below it kind of start to come undone. So it's not a bad idea to have that handy all the time. And I guess that's what we will do. So I might just leave them there. We got that one done though, and then right here I needed this, the 1 millimeter feeler gauge, and you know, hey, it is what it is. So if we come in, this does have kind of a knurled knob, so we can sort of adjust the fan on it. And again, 13 pieces, I believe. Kind of looks like more than that. Fly, I tell you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. It's 13. What do you know? That is cool. If you are buying this for SAE, you get the benefit of metric. If you're buying it for metric, you get the benefit of SAE measurements on there. So I did have SAE feeler gauges, but they did not have metric equivalents on them. And since I thought, you know, I could probably wind up using these quite a bit, so I went with something that I thought would be good. And again, this is something you could probably pick this up from some, like, you know, bargain basement center for, you know, $2.99, $3, something like that. I know how those operate. I've used them. This nut comes off, all your feeler gauges fall to the floor. Some of them go like this, like a leaf, and blow off into the distance. Others go straight down. Some of them stay attached. Then when you don't have them all, this doesn't thread together really good. This one, it's got a screw. It's a literal screw head, a number 2 Phillips, which again works great for all of our collection of screwdrivers. Get off the screen, you stupid fly. Gotta tell you. Okay, it's going down. I've got to end this video, man. So right there, though, this set of feeler gauges, this is a little bit more durable, the outer shell. But the ones I have, I know exactly what they do. My screw pitch gauges are the same way. You got to be super careful and maintain tension on this, or it will be a mess. I've spent a little bit more on these. I think it's probably a lifetime set, and I'm hoping that it stays together as said lifetime set. We'll see how it goes. At least it has a screw head on that side and then the knob on this one, which again, if you pay attention, that does have ridges, or, you know, knurling, and that will help you kind of grab it and get a better grip. But that is what we did. That is what we brought in. Again, this I guess will probably be going back unless they let me keep it. If they do, I'll have it side by side with the number 2. When the number 2 comes in, I'll just throw it in that next subsequent tool haul. BiCuts, Supercuts, Needle Nose, Stubby, Bit of Thanks, which is again a Philo number 2. We got our feeler gauges, we got the Heyco Fender cover, which I will take you over to the truck to look at, and we will close out. Actually, I tell you what, this is what I did, because I told you, you know, I got it soaked. Pardon the mess in the back. But this is typically where a speed bag would be. And if your shop is multifunctional like mine, this little speed bag stand actually turns out to be great for drying soaked fender covers. So let me get it on the truck and we will showcase. All right, so there it is. Just threw it over the top of the grill guard for you. You can kind of tell for it to be folded up like this, it did get pretty wet. Again, that kind of happened when the motor hit the cross member right there. that's another story for another day. Be sure to watch the Ram Revival to see that thrilling mess. And I do mean mess. But right here, it's got the Heyco logo. It's got the website. It is trimmed in green. This, I believe, was actually made in Sri Lanka. The dimensions I have in the other video for you. Again, it is a little dirty still up at the top, but we could probably clean that up if we wanted to. Again, my main thing, this thing was soaked. And subsequently, I wanted to go ahead and try to get it taken care of. The back side is like that waffle weave. Honestly, what this looks the most like to me is drawer liner. Like if you used to go in Sears, right? You know, before they disappeared, and you bought a toolbox and you were like, oh, I need a drawer liner, you know, to put my tools on. That's pretty much what it is. Shelf paper, you know, toolbox, drawer liner, whatever. It's that type of material. So needless to say, like when I put it on the grill guard, it grips pretty good, as you can hear. So if green is your color, if you love Heyco, if you're just looking for a relatively inexpensive set of fender covers, in fact, here on the truck, this is an issue that I run into. Like this one, old, like mid-90s from Jegs, right? It's a situation where it's got this wide gap here, and it actually does work okay for the truck. It fits the Duster. Like anything with a wide fender like the Charger, no, these aren't going to work. That's why I have like so many different styles of fender covers, because it's really annoying when you go to the length of putting a fender cover down only to have it constantly like slide off as you're leaning against it. So this I have over here, these work really good, and they're more flexible. So if you had like imports, Japanese, European, whatever, with the tiny fenders, they're like not even as wide as my core support there, this would be ideal. And you would probably cover all the way down to the tire. If these were on the fender of the truck or the Charger, they don't have as much coverage, but it's decent. In fact, let me pull you over here to the Duster. And with the Duster, this is the original fender gripper. And what I like about this set, again, it is like a shapeless one. It's just flat, it conforms to whatever. The Heyco I actually did use over here, it worked really well. But again, like right now, I've got some stuff going here in the engine bay of the Duster, so I've got these two tied up, or Mopar ones, of course. And then with the truck, we've got everything tied up. So it's going to come in handy over there. Now, that said, I got to wrap this up so I can kill a fly. True story there. I do hope you enjoyed. Again, my apologies. It's kind of a little bit of a repeat on a lot of things. Again, we had objectives. We got our feeler gauges. We don't have to use the cheap pink-handled needle nose pliers again at my sister's. We did miss out on the bottle opener, but again, not the end of the world there, certainly. So 2 out of 3 ain't bad. I'll take it. And it's looking like the sun's coming out, so it's probably not going to rain or dump hail. One of the two things will happen, I'm sure. Anyhow, LoneStarMopars.com is the website. You can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram, whichever you prefer. That's it. I'm going to get my screen up, my door down, and try to crank out a bit of a channel update for you. But that is what we brought in. Let me know your thoughts on this stuff. Again, my apologies, we didn't go into super detail mode, but I have brought all this in. So if you haven't seen the previous videos, this is a great time to check them out. And on that note, I hope you've enjoyed your Saturday. I'm going to kill a fly, and then I'll be back.